imagine a birthday party. Or you don't have to imagine one, you probably have been to a plenty, right? So imagine being at a birthday party and all its glory, and all your friends are gathered around, and there's a cake with candles. And some of you have a few candles, and some of you have a lot of candles, right? And you're sitting there, and they're lit, and folks around there are singing happy birthday. And as they're singing happy birthday and you're about to blow out the candles, somebody yells out, "Make a wish! Make sure you make a wish!" Have you ever been there? Have you ever done that at some point in your life? Maybe as a child, maybe as an older person, but somebody, make a wish, and you're like, a wish, a wish, a wish. What do I wish for? What do I wish for? What do I wish for? What do I need? What do I want? And it's usually something that you need like immediately, or like first thing pops in your head, like as a child, you might say, oh, like I can remember, oh, I want a bike. I want a bike. I wish for a bike. Maybe a bike will appear at some magical moment. Or, you know, as a young married woman might say, you know, I wish for a long married life. You know, whatever it is that you think that you need right at that moment, right?
Wish I could blow out all them candles.
I wish I could blow. That's starting to happen to me. Thank goodness for those big candles, you know, just the numbers. They take 94, whatever, you know, whatever. But that's a lot of candles to blow out. But some of us have been through that more times than not. But you've all been there at some point, and all of a sudden you have to make this wish before the candles, of course, melt down into the cake. You know, you have the wax cake. You know, and you're sort of trying to think. So we've all been put on the spot. And like I said, usually it's something to do with something we need immediately, and we wish for those things and to come about. But that's kind of how Solomon found himself in this dream. Put on the spot, God comes to him and says, "What do you wish for? Ask me whatever you want, anything you want, I'll give it to you. Anything you want." And what does he wish for? Wisdom, discernment, being able to tell right from wrong. Now I can tell you, if I was gonna have to make that decision, I probably have to make a list and disqualify some things. See, house, car, take the house, take the house, take the car, just to work things down to where I could get to that. But he doesn't. He doesn't even hesitate. He says, what? He says he wants wisdom. Now, how many of you that would be on your list? How many of you that would make your top 10? If somebody came to you and said, I tell you what, Jen, I give you anything you want. You know? Ronnie, I give you anything you want. What do you want it to be? Think about it. Is wisdom even on there? Is it on that list? Does it pop into your head? I want to be wise. Or is it, I want to be rich? Or I want to be powerful? Or I want to be admired? I want to be famous? I want to be the best cabinet maker in the world. People will come from all around to see my cabinets, and they'll sit in this magnificent showroom. I mean, we all have those needs, right? But wisdom's probably not on the list, is it? But why not? It was definitely on Solomon's list. Maybe Solomon was already wise. He was wise enough to know he didn't know. Right? Sometimes that's being really smart. I'm going to tell you, being wise enough to know that you don't know the answer. And you need to know. But it's quite an accomplishment for him to ask for that. And God says what? I'm going to give you what you asked for, but not only that, I'm going to give you everything else. It's like you won the lottery, right? But if we were asked to make that decision, if I did ask that, I said, Billy, what do you need? Matt, what do you want? One wish, what do you want? I think our discernment process would probably be a little bit different. And I think a lot of times we would confuse our desires and our needs, right? And isn't there a difference in what we desire and what we need? Don't we teach our children that? I hope we do. Is that a lesson you've taught your child at some point? You know, there's a difference between a desire and a need, right? I may desire a Jaguar, but I really only need transportation, right? I may desire a palace with a pool and a basketball court, and you know, but I just need a place to dwell. I just need a house. And maybe a hoop outside would be good. But I mean, but basically, I just need the basic need, right? If you want to put a hole in the wall, do you need a drill? It doesn't have to be the most expensive drill with the extended warranty, or do you just need a hammer and a nail? Won't they both accomplish the same thing? Need, desire, right? They're different, aren't they? But being able to distinguish between your needs and your desires is sometimes hard, right? So as we look at this question, if we were asked that question, what do you need? What do you want? Anything you want. Anything you want. Anything. How do we decide? I mean, what is the greatest need? And does Solomon's answer really hold true today? Is that what we should be asking for as wisdom? I mean, some people say that the most basic need is stuff. Right? We need stuff in our life. We need houses, we need cars, we need food on the table. We need stuff, right? You say, that's right, preacher, because you know, it's hard to live in cardboard boxes and not have food to put on the table or pay the mortgage. That makes it tough. So we do need some stuff. And I would say, yes, you're right. You do need some stuff. But Jesus said man does not live by what? Bread alone. In other words, stuff is not going to be enough. It's not going to be sufficient. It's not going to be the ultimate answer. It's not going to give you everything you want. There's still going to be a spiritual hole left there that you're going to be looking to fill. It's not the complete answer. It's just stuff. Right? It's just stuff. You know, Jesus told the story of a man who very successful, worked hard all his life, and he built barns, and he built bigger barns, and he'd store up stuff, and the day he retired, he what? He died. He invested all his energy in stuff, but stuff did him no good. When his day came, did it? It left him laughing, right? You remember the story of King Midas, right? Everything he touched turned to gold, but then he couldn't eat, could he? Because anything he touched turned to gold. You can't eat gold. It's pretty to look at, but it's really crunchy. I mean, it's not good, right? And he even touched his daughter, and she turned to gold, so you have no one to love, right? So stuff doesn't fill the hole. It doesn't conquer what we need, right? Some people will say, well, power. I'll take power. Power is important. Why else would a millionaire run for a political office besides to have power? We like to tell people what to do, right? We like to be in charge. I like being in charge. Part of the thing I like about being a pastor, I can go like this and y'all stand up, and I go like this and y'all sit down. Power. Sometimes I go like this and y'all just sit there. It's like, I say sing, and y'all say, But it's not real power. But you know what I'm saying? People like power. They like to be in charge. But is power really the answer? The United States is probably one of the most powerful nations in the world. Maybe not as powerful as we used to be, but we're still a power. We have nuclear bombs, missiles that will hit anywhere in the world in a matter of minutes, just a push of the button. We can destroy people's lives. We can wipe out countries. That's power. Without wisdom to use it, it's dangerous, isn't it? So it's not the ultimate answer. You still need that wisdom to know when to use that power and when to withhold it. You know? When is it right to use force and when is it not right to use force? It takes wisdom. We can't just bull over the world. That's not the way it works. What else would you ask for? If money is not the answer, power is not the answer, what else do you need in your life? self-esteem. I heard somebody say, all you need is a good self-esteem. You need to be able to look in the mirror and feel good about yourself. And you look in there and say, look out, world. Here I come. I don't know if you're ready for this, but I'm coming anyway. You know, you need to feel good about yourself. You know, all these self-help tapes tell you how to feel good about you. And I encourage you to feel good about you. It's important. You should have a good self-esteem. You should be happy with the person you are. Not trying to please those around you. Because guess what? It ain't going to happen. But you should feel good about you. Because as you look in the mirror, just remind yourself that you are God's creation. That God made you, and God does not say oops. He does not make mistakes. So yes, you should feel good about yourself, but I hope you do. But too much feeling good about yourself leads to pride and arrogance and thinking you're better than someone else. And that is not what Christ taught. Christ taught to serve from a place of what? Humility, humbleness. So just feeling good about yourself isn't really the answer either, is it? I think Solomon was right. I think the ultimate answer is to be wise, to have understanding, to have wisdom. And it's like Pam said earlier, if you have those things, you're probably going to get those other things, aren't you? If you're the smartest guy in the room, if you're the wisest guy in the room, chances are you're going to make a decent living, right? That you're going to be able to find a way to make enough to meet your monetary needs, to get stuff. If you're wise, you'll know how to use that power. If you're wise, you'll recognize that you can't please everyone. And that you should feel good about yourself. We should be wise. That is, I think, the answer that we should look for. That is what we should seek out. But what is wisdom? Let me start and tell you what it's not. It's not IQ. IQ is what that gray matter you're born with. We all got some, and some got less than others. And some, I mean, you either have a high IQ or you have a low IQ. And what you're born with is what you got. It's what you're stuck with. They say, well, you can just study, well, you can do this and this and this, and it might increase a little bit. Okay, but basically what you got is what you got. You know? And there's some people with really high IQs and people with really low IQs, but IQs don't make up wisdom. Okay? It just means what you're capable of learning and how you're capable of learning. So IQ is not it. So you people with high IQs, I'm sorry. If you with low IQs, you won't understand this anyway. But anyway, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I couldn't help that. I'm sorry. The devil made me do that. I'm sorry. But I'm in that club, the low IQ club, anyway. So obviously, from that statement, right? But you just look bored, so I figured I need to say something. But that's not it. And it's not a matter of education. It really is not. I know some folks in here are very educated. But that really doesn't have anything to do with how wise you are. I know a lot of folks that have PhDs and have masters, and some of those folks are very smart about a particular item or a particular realm of knowledge. But some of those folks can't come out of the rain. When it comes to common sense, I don't think they have horse sense. I mean, some of those folks, you're just like, how do you survive? I mean, and that's not to say all people with education are high IQs. I'm just saying that there are some folks, do you know those folks? They're very smart people. I mean, as far as they're smart, they know their stuff. But when it comes to common sense, they have absolutely, they just missed that chapter somewhere. They just didn't get any. So, I mean, that has nothing to do with being wise. So So what is wisdom? If it's not that, if it's not smarts, if it's not education, it's more about being able to discern and make good judgment, which comes from a lot of times from life experiences, doesn't it? Some of you are very wise looking across this, right? You've been around a lot. You've seen a lot of things. You know what to do, what not to do. You're able to make some wise decisions, right? It's kind of like when you're young and you're a baby and mama says, don't touch that, it's hot. Ah, it's hot. Okay, well now you're wise enough to know that what your mama said, don't touch that, you don't touch that, right? But it's kind of a learning process that we learn as we go along. But it's the ability to be able to tell right from wrong, to make good sound judgments, right? That's wisdom. To be able to take what life gives you and maneuver your way through it is wisdom. Solomon was faced early on, after he received wisdom from God, with a challenge to how to use that. I mean, to make decisions. Do you remember the story of the woman, the two women that had a baby, and one of them rolled over the night, and the baby died, and she went and took the other woman's baby and changed them out. And the other woman said, "This isn't my baby," and they took it to Solomon to decide. So you have two women, and they're trying to decide whose baby's which. One baby's dead, one baby's alive. And Solomon says, "Bring me my sword, and each of you can have half. I'll take the live baby and I'll cut it in half, and each of you can have half." Can you imagine that? Can you imagine his court going, "What? Is he serious? Gosh, are I really going to get the sword? Really?" I mean, but it's brilliant when you think about it. Because immediately the mother of the child starts saying, "No, let her have the baby. Let her have the baby." And he knew. And the other was like, "Oh no, I'll take half. I'm good. Half's good. Just give me half." So it's obvious which one is the mother of the child, isn't it? The one that wants no harm to come to it, right? So wisdom is an important thing. And it affects us in our judgment in our everyday lives. And things will come at us that will challenge us to make good judgments. There's a story of a girl or a man who had a debt to pay, and he couldn't pay it back. And the man who owed the debt said, "I'll tell you what." He said, "I will take two stones, a white stone and a black stone. I will put them in a pouch." He said, "And I'll forgive your debt. But if your daughter pulls out the white stone, I'll forgive your debt, and the two of you, and she has to marry me. But if she pulls out the black stone, well, then," I may have messed that up. The white stone, the black stone. She needed to pull out the white stone, is what it was. If she pulled out the white stone, they could go free. The debt's forgiven, they go free. If she pulled out the black stone, then she had to marry, is what it goes. So they didn't want to do it. He said, "Well, then I won't forgive your father's debt, and you'll starve to death, and he'll go to jail because he owes me this money." So they said, "Well, okay, they'll do it." So the man who owned the debt bent down and picked up two stones. But the girl noticed that he picked up two black stones and put them in the bag. He was stacking the deck. He was going to make sure he won. So she reached into the pouch and she grabbed the stone. And as she pulled it out, she dropped it to the ground. So, "Oh, I don't know which stone I picked up." She said, "But if you look in the pouch, you'll be able to tell the color of the one I dropped." That's wisdom right there. That's smart. That's taking what the world gives you and making the best of it. Making it work for you. We all need to be wise in the decisions we make. Life is going to come at us hard and fast, and sometimes we're not going to know what to do. So how do we become wise is really the question. How do we become like Solomon? Or as close to it as we can, because it says there will never be another man like Solomon. How do we become wise? How do you do that? How does that work? Well, let me tell you, the best way to become wise is to ask God to make you wise. That's what Solomon did. He asked God to make him wise. You need to get up each morning and say, God, give me wisdom. Give me wisdom to make the choices that I'm going to have to make today. Because they're going to come at me, and there's going to be some that I'm going to have to make like that. And I'm going to need to know what to do. And I need you to be with me. What is the Alcoholics Anonymous has a prayer that they pray. It says, God grant me the serenity. You know it? God grant me the serenity to accept
the things I cannot change. Wisdom to know the difference.
That's it, right?
Accept the things I cannot change, and change the things I can.
So God grant me the serenity to know the things I can't change, and the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I've never been to Alcoholics Anonymous. And I'm not judging y'all. No, I'm just kidding. It's a very popular prayer. A lot of people know it. But it's asking for wisdom to know. There's some things in life you're going to face and you're going to be able to change, and some things you're not. And you need to know the difference. And when you can make a change, to have the courage to use your God-given abilities to make a change. Right? But that's wisdom. It comes from asking God to give you Christ's mindset. You remember those bracelets that went around for a long time? What would Jesus do? WWJD. Remember those? About 10, 15 years ago, they were really popular. All the kids had them, those rubber bands with the head in it. But it's supposed to be a reminder when we're making decisions, what would Jesus do? And we don't necessarily have to wear the band around our wrist, but we need to ask for that mindset. What would Jesus do? When I come to this decision, what is it that Jesus would do? And to know that, you have to know what Jesus would do. Which means that you need to spend time in the Word. And find out what Jesus did. How He treated others. Was He judgmental? No, He was not. Did He embrace those who were outcast by society? Oh, yes. Yes, He did. Was He an advocate for the poor? To take care of the poor and those who are weak? Oh, yeah. Yes, He was. You see, if you don't know what Jesus did, then you need to go and see what Jesus did. You need to read the Gospels. You need to find you one of those Bibles with the red letters and read the red letter. See what Jesus actually said, what Jesus actually did. And then try to have that mindset as you go through life. You see, because those little children up here, they're looking for wisdom. They're looking for life experiences. They're trying to figure out what to do. When they make choices in life, they're looking at you. You're their example. Whether you want to be or you don't want to be is irrelevant because you are. I think it was Charles Barkley a few years ago said, I'm not a role model. Don't make me a role model. We're all role models. He was really smart enough. He wasn't a good one. He didn't want anybody following. But if you have the knowledge to know that you're not a good one, then you need to have the knowledge to know that you need to change. You see, we all need to be Christ-like. We need to ask that Holy Spirit that dwells within each of us to help us make those decisions, to guide us along this journey. So when I come to a fork and I need to decide whether I'm going left or I'm going right, I need that Holy Spirit to guide me. I need Him to be my GPS. I need Him to say, you need to veer right. I don't need to go left and have Him say, recalculate. You need to change, right? You need to turn around, make a U-turn, and go back. We need to listen, not to what we want or what we desire, but what is it that God needs from each of us? We need to look for that plan and be on that plan. to follow that plan better than we follow Weight Watchers plan, or any of those plans. We need to be on the same mindset as God would have us to be. And to do that is to be wise, to make wise choices, to live a wise life. Now, how many of you in here consider yourself smart? Seriously? Nobody thinks they're smart? What a humble group. I'm so glad to be your shepherd. I have this humble group of smart folks that don't think they're smart.
I guess it depends on the subject.
I think all of us can be very wise this morning if we walk out of here with the attitude that, today, tomorrow, for each day going forward, I want to be more Christ-like. Solomon wrote over 3,000 proverbs. Did you know that? Over 3,000 proverbs. And one of them that he wrote says hold on, let me get it right, this is what I'm quoting. It says, too soon old, too late smart. Does that make sense? Too soon old, life goes by very fast, doesn't it? And it seems we don't get to be smart till the end, doesn't it? Don't you wish you could go back and have all the knowledge that you have now and go back 10, 15 years ago and know everything you know now? I'm not talking about like stock market knowledge, I would buy this stock now. I'm talking about, but don't you wish some of the mistakes we had made in the past, we wouldn't make them again, would we? Because we know, we would know. That's wisdom. How many folks here need a little wisdom today? Amen? Amen. I think we all need a little wisdom. And it's up to you to get it. And all you have to do is pray. All you have to do is ask. All you have to do is look for it. To look for the right answer. To be led by the Holy Spirit. To give the right answer in each and every step of each and every day. That is the way to be wise. And all God's people said.
Amen.